Pilates class for you today. So just a couple of reminders before we start. You just need to make sure that your Zoom is on mute. It should do it automatically, but just in case, look for a little kind of microphone symbol with a line through it in red, and that way that you'll know that you're muted. Otherwise it will sort of background noise into it. Once that is done, just make sure that you've got your mat. You probably want some water today because it's fairly warm, and just remember that you are exercising at your own risk. I can kind of see some of you, but you're very, very small, but not really enough to correct you. So just be mindful of your actions. I say this every week, so I apologise for those of you that are sick of hearing it. But if something hurts in a way that you're using the muscle and you're using it to fatigue and it aches, then that is absolutely fine, just as you would with any exercise. If it's a sudden, sharp and acute pain, that is your body's signal that you're doing something that is going to injure you. So I suggest you stop. And similarly, if you feel any pain, particularly common place to feel it here after Pilates is just here at the bottom of your rib cage. That's fine. That just shows that you've been working hard and you've been engaging the right muscles, and your muscles are just taking a little while to repair afterwards. So for some people that will set in the next day. For most of us, that delayed onset muscle soreness occurs about 48 hours, and then it takes about another 48 hours to ease off. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the warm-up seated so that I don't have to fiddle around with camera angles. It gives you a more seamless class and you get more out of your hour. As you know, we ran out of time last week a little bit. But by all means, if you've been sitting at a desk this morning or you've been sitting down hunched over a computer, it's probably preferable for you to be standing. So I'll give you the difference. We're doing the same warm up every week. It just gives you 5 or 10 minutes to switch off, get your head away from work and into the right zone for exercise. So if I start doing lots of complicated moves, that kind of negates that zoning out period. Anyway, I shall stop talking and we will begin. So if you are standing, I want you to make sure that you are in a nice neutral position. So that means your feet, your ankles and your hips are in a nice straight line, stacked across each other, over the top of each other. Your hips are not this far apart, that far apart. So just as rule of thumb, about 6 to 8 inches between the balls of your feet there. Spread your toes out, give yourself a nice surface area to work from. And then moving up the body, make sure that you are pulling up nice and tall out of the waist. So in terms of your legs, that doesn't mean pushing your knees back and hyperextending them, but do you just want to create a little bit of tension in your thigh muscles here and draw them up towards your pelvis, just to get everything switched on and working there. So your pelvis should be level if you're standing, so you're not tipping over to one side or the other, and you're neither tucked under and forward or arched back, so you should just have a nice natural curve. If you imagine a skeleton from the side, it's just a very gentle S-shaped curve in the spine. So once you've found that neutral position, take a nice deep breath in for me, and as you do so, draw your tummy muscles back. Breathe out through your mouth, but don't let the tummy hang out again. So you want to keep that just that slight contraction so that we're starting to wake up those core muscles. So moving up the body, have a look at where your hands have fallen by your sides. If your palms are touching the outside of your thighs when you're standing, you've got a nice shoulder retraction there. If they're around here, you're slumping slightly, so just roll them back and correct that. Make sure that your shoulders are level, chin is parallel to the floor, and we'll begin by mobilising the neck. That can be a place that we hold lots of tension, particularly if we've been, as mentioned before, sitting at a desk or hunched over a computer. So, ear to the shoulder here. So gently tip it from side to side. It wants to be a nice smooth movement, this. Nothing too jerky and nothing too forced. So I seem to have a permanently stiff neck at the moment. I don't know why. but I'm just gently pressing it a little bit further each time to help loosen it up and increase that stretch. And I want you to do the same. Okay, so you're not kind of forcing it right over there and feeling any strain, but you are just encouraging the neck to stretch and loosen any tension in it. One more each side for me, and then bring the head back to the center. Excellent. Now turn and look over the shoulder. So once again, your head is the only thing that's moving here, so your shoulders aren't moving with it. And again, you can press it a little bit further each time just to increase the stretch in the neck. Good. So you should feel it loosening up nicely if you started off feeling a little tense. Okay, now tuck your chin into your chest and roll it down. Only up to the other shoulder. We don't want to take it in a full circle across the back. And that can encourage the vertebrae to crunch slightly in the neck. And that's kind of counterproductive for what we want to achieve here, which is to make you feel strong and stretched out and really work through those muscles. And one more each way. And then bring your head back to the center. Good. So we're going to work on the shoulders now. So it doesn't matter which one you do first, just begin with little shoulders. Roll it back. So roll it away from the screen. Okay, once again, don't go for it. Really yanking that shoulder round, make them small circles to begin with. Gradually increase your range of movement there. So thankfully the warm weather's back, so you should feel relatively warmed up if you've been moving around the house. I think it's much easier to warm up at this time of year than it is in the winter. Okay, change direction, so roll back forward. So you should feel it more in the neck and across the upper back there this time as you loosen up. Good, and swap sides, so roll it back now. Good. And then roll that shoulder forwards. So I'm really hoping that the microphone on this isn't picking up the fact that my shoulders are really clunking today. I don't know what's up with them. I need to take my own advice and stretch a bit more, I think. Okay, and back to the center. So we're going to take the arms up and reach them up to the seams. And this time, I want you to tip your head a little bit and look towards the fingertips. So we're not tipping the head right back so that we crunch the vertebrae in the neck, but we're just stretching through the front of the neck and creating some length between the chin and the clavicles. And float the arms down again. It's a really nice one if you're standing up. You can stretch all the way up, but maybe come onto your tiptoes this time if you're standing. Focus on something fixed on the wall in front of you to help you keep your balance. But really stretch through the ankles and feet. Feature another area that hold tension. So it's really good to stretch them out. And start to tuck the chin to the chest this time and roll yourself all the way down until your hands touch the floor. Now I'm not worried about you stretching through the back of your legs. If you can touch your toes without bending your legs, that's fabulous. But some of us aren't as flexible as that, in which case just put a slight bend in your knees until your hands touch the floor. So we want to keep it really nice and loose at this stage. And the weight of your head should help bring you down towards the floor there. Let's just do one more of those, rolling all the way down. So you should feel it really nice kind of articulation of the spine as you come down there, and feel it really loosen up. You shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever. Now bring the hands in front of you, palms together, and I want you to open out the arms nice and wide here, squeezing the shoulder blades back and really pressing the chest upwards there. So we want to open the chest so that we can breathe nice and deeply all the way into the lungs, in through the nose, out through the mouth in this. So the deeper we breathe, the better with this exercise. Start to round the back as you bring the arms forward. So we only use a small capacity of our lungs, usually, maybe I think it's something like 20%. So we're breathing very, very shallowly. So if you can use this hour in the middle of your day to take some really nice deep breaths and sweep the arm overhead and start to really get that full oxygen exchange through your lungs, then it will help to energize you for the afternoon and hopefully you'll be super productive. Okay, so really nice deep breaths to really reach over there and back again. And obviously, as we know, the healthier we keep our lungs at the moment, the more protection it's going to give us against coming into contact with the virus and succumbing to it. Okay, so change sides, really reach over there. So if you're standing, the arm, in which case it would be this one, reach that down towards the side of the leg there, towards the foot, so that you're really stretching that out. Get some tension through the arm there, warming up those arm muscles. We're going to be doing quite a few planks today, so we want our upper body to be really nice and warmed up and ready for those. Okay, one more, and back to the centre. Now bring your hands on top of each other here, or you can have them nice and wide. I'll hit the wall if I do that. So I'm keeping mine bent, and twist round. So trying to work from the waist here, so you're stretching the muscles in the thoracic region of your back. And round. Good, that's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to come down onto your mats, but in a seated position rather than lying down. So once again, I'm going to come up kind of an angle here so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So once again, your neutral setup here, ankles, knees and hips in a nice straight line. So you should have the same gap all the way along there. Sitting up, I'll show you from the side. You want your back really nice and straight so that you're sitting right out of the sit bones here, pulling up nice and tall, lengthening your back, getting as much length along your spine as possible, working from the crown of your head, pulling up. Now bring the arms in front of you. So we're going to start with that half roll back, and we're going to do some add-ons to it with the arms this week. So we want to think about the back coming into a C shape. So just practice that. So spread the shoulder blades apart and then squeeze them together to come up. So just do that movement to begin with, squeezing the shoulder blades, peeling them apart, squeeze them back towards the spine and then peel apart. Now we're going to start rolling backwards, but I want you to think about really scooping the tummy muscles in there rather than just collapsing in the middle. Keep those muscles braced there and then bring yourself up nice and slowly and squeeze again and correct your posture at the top so that it's nice and straight. So this isn't just a collapsing in the middle, it's a mindful movement where we're tucking in. I'm scooping those tummy muscles in and I'm really, really holding my weight with the tummy muscles. It's all too easy just to allow yourself to collapse and then your hip flexors do the work at the top of your hips there. And you really don't want that. Okay, as much as it is important to have strong hip flexors, you don't want tight hip flexors. They tend to overtake the glute muscles at the back, and then you get all sorts of problems if those weaken with lower back issues. So we want to treat the body as one and make sure all the links in our chain are nice and strong, really pulling there and up. So we're going to hold it back now here, and we're going to take an arm out to the side and back. So as you're in the semi-reclined position, think about where your shoulders are. Have a look, mine are down. I slid my shoulder blades down my spine. They're not up round my ears somewhere here. So we're keeping them nice and strong there. Okay, I want you to do 4 more of those, and then we're going to come out of hold up to the top, keeping control the whole time. Good. 1 more on each side. Sweep it wide and out. Now bring yourself up with that back rounded and pull up at the top. And just let your arms relax for a moment there. It can be quite tough on the shoulders, just holding the arms up in that position. So we're going to do the same thing now, but we're going to take the arms up and overhead. So what I'm looking for with this one is a really nice straight arm. We don't want any crooked arms. You'll see what I mean as they come overhead. So once again, pull up nice and tall. Allow the shoulder blades to separate, scoop in, roll back. And you're going to take the arm up and overhead. So it's coming back past my ear here. And I'm really pushing my arm so it remains nice and straight. What can happen if you relax the arm, it's probably easier if I show on the other side, this arm can just go a little bit floppy. So I'm pushing through the fingertips as if I'm trying to reach the ceiling over ahead of me with my fingertips, and that's creating some length and straightness through my arm. And as a result, I'm feeling a really good pull all along here as I take that arm overhead. So we're working into the muscles in the back as well. One more on each side. So don't worry if you're starting to shake in this position, that's perfectly normal. Don't forget to brace here. So come up and round forward and just relax for a moment there. So we've got one more exercise in this position, and just as we did last week, we're then going to layer those together and do 4 of each particular movement before we come back up to our start position. So in your set-up position, back nice and straight, round the back, separate the shoulder blades, scoop the tummy in, come here. Now, as if you're pulling on a bow to fire an arrow is the position I want you to be in. So as you pull back, look back towards the elbow, and I want you to really concentrate on twisting that body from the waist there. So you're really starting to get into your oblique muscles that run along the side of the body rather than just the overlying muscles on the top. So it makes it a much more comprehensive movement. So once again, shoulders down. Brace the abdominals, make sure that you're not gripping with your hip flexors. And pull back, give me one more on each side. Stay in that 45-degree angle to the floor. And then bring yourself up, back rounded, pull up nice and tall at the top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to reset yourself, and then just have a little bit of rest. Okay, so here's what we're going to do to sandwich them together. We're going to come back for 4 and up. And then we're going to take the arms wide, overhead, alternating each time, and then that twist, and then come up to the start position there. And that's one full superset of those exercises. So let's start in our neutral position, back nice and straight. So separate the shoulder blades, rounded, come down, and back up again. Really focusing at this stage on your tummy muscles, scooping in, rounding down here, and up. And 2 more. So this next one, we're going to stay down there and start to do the arms. So take them out to the side. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's take them overhead, really getting some length in the arms. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pull back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come up safely out of hold. Pull up at the top, and we're ready to go again. So round it back and up. Good, and back and up, back. Good, and one more. Stay down there this time. Take the arms wide, brace the abdominals. Make it nice and wide. Keep your shoulders down and away from the ears. Press those arms out to the side. Now take it overhead, reaching as much as you can. Try and get more length in that arm this time. Good, now twist it back, looking back towards the elbow and forwards. Lovely, 2 more. And brace the abdominals, bring yourself up. Well up nice and tall at the back, and then you can have a little bit of a collapse. So we're going to pick up where we left off last week. So if you cast your mind back, and you may well remember a little bit of pain. I'm just going to adjust the camera angle so you can see me a little bit better. Okay, so we lay on our sides. Our set-up position was on our side with a right angle here at the curve of the hip joint there, and also our knees. And we did a clamshell movement, opening out. Now, I know I certainly felt that last week. So we're going to build on that, but instead of keeping the feet together this week, we're lifting them up in this position here. So subtle change, but it's just making the muscles work in a little bit of a different way. So the most important thing to remember with this one is to keep everything nicely stacked on top of each other. So if you're putting a hand in front of you for balance, it should just be the fingertips there, okay? Better still will be just to rest it on the thigh there. But either way, you don't want your shoulder rolling backwards or forwards there. Keep them fairly evenly stacked on top of each other. Okay, so trying to keep that distance, so lifting up and down. Now, I like to point my toes with this one. Some people find it's better to have their foot relaxed as it gives them cramp in the legs. So I'll leave that up to you. But what I do want you to do, have a look. As my knee comes down, I'm stopping it just short of the other one. So I'm not actually resting until we get to the end of this set. So I'm keeping the outer thigh here under tension for the duration of this exercise. And that will make it far more effective. Okay, so keep going. I'm going to do 4 more of these. So 4, good, and 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down, have a little bit of a rest. Okay. So now we're going to take the leg out straight as we bring it up here. So we're opening it up, extend, back and down without resting it down. Open, extend, back and down. Good. Extend. So up, extend and down. Give me 5 more like this. So I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel that already. Good. Now we all know I can't count, but I think we've got 3 left. So let's call this 3 and 2 and 1 and down. Okay, and just give it a little bit of a rest there for a moment. So our final one, we're going to bring the leg up, extend it, and we're going to take the leg in circles there. So bring it up, extend. Now I want you to go clockwise to begin with for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change direction. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should we do that again? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, and back the other way. 1, 2. Now you can make these as big or as small as you want, these circles, but I don't want your upper body to start moving around if you're making them bigger. And fold it back in and lower it down. Okay, give it a little bit of a rub. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lift and lower with the leg bent for 4, lift with that extension and back for 4, and we're going to extend 4 circles clockwise for 4 circles anti-clockwise. Nice and easy, just remember 4s and everything. Okay, so off we go. So we're lifting and lowering. Remember, don't rest the leg down to the end. 2, 3, and keep pulling in through the tummy to support yourself here. 4, extend, 1, and down, and 2, down, 3, and 4. Let's leave that leg out there and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fold that leg in and lower it down. Okay, other side, I'm afraid. It's always worse second time round because you've got to lie on the sore side and you know what's coming. Okay, so legs bent, set yourself up again. Remember, right angle at the hip joint, right angle at the knee joint there. Some people, I don't think I can see anyone, some people last week were sitting up like this. I want you to keep your head on your bicep there. You'll put your neck in a funny position if you rest it on your hand. If you feel that you're tipping over too much, you can get like a little pillow or a folded towel and put it between your arm and your ear, and that will keep your neck in a much safer position. So let's do those open and closes first. Okay. So remember, you're not resting your leg down until the very end of the set. Good. Just give me 5 more of those, and then I'll give you a little bit of a rest. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. And have a rest here. So we're going to lift, extend the leg and down. So we're coming up, in and down, without resting it down in between. 2, and 3, and 4. Good, we've got 5 more. Are you feeling it yet? I know I am. Good, 4 more. Breathe through it, get some oxygen into those muscles. Good, and 1 more. And then take it down and have a little rest. Okay, good. So really try and just relax those muscles in between. So the final one before we put it together in sets of 4, we're going to just do some leg circles to keep it nice and simple. We'll do 4 in each direction and take that through twice. So lift the leg, extend. Let's go clockwise to begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend the leg in and bring it down. Excellent. Okay, we're going to have a position change now. So we're going to find our plank position. So we're starting on our forearms with this one. So just remember with the plank, breathe. Lots of people hold their breath with this one, and in a class you can see them going redder and redder in the face. You do need to get some oxygen into the muscles, and it's not very good for your blood pressure if you're holding your breath there. So come onto your forearms there. If you can see yourself in a glass door or a mirror, then now would be the time to have a look. So you want to keep your back really nice and straight here. I've got my toes tucked under, and you can see in that position there. So from here, I'm going to press one leg out and then the other. Now I'm in a full plank position. And then I'm bringing them back down and down. So just take one look. I know I asked you to keep, to look and then just keep your neck in neutral. Have a look at what my back is doing here. So I'm pushing the leg up, up, down, down. So you'll see my back didn't come up and down. It didn't change position there. And how I achieve that is two ways. I just practice so that I know what my setup position is going to be, so that from a plank, I know when I lower the knees, I'm in the same position. And also I'm working really quite hard, pulling my tummy muscles in there to keep my back nice and steady. Okay, so let's do that. We'll lift and lower the legs 10 times in total with this one. So hold it in position there. So push up, up, down, down. That's one. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. Up and down. Okay, now take the other knee off first this time. If you did your right, then take the left for the remainder. 3 more. And last one. Okay, now sit back, and I want you to just give your shoulders a little bit of a stretch here. It's quite tough in that one. It's quite tough on the shoulders. Okay, so we're coming back into that plank position now. I'm going to shuffle forward a bit, so you may lose my head. I think it's more important that you see what my feet are doing here. So I'm pushing up into that plank. Now I'm going to use my elbows to drag me forwards and then back again. So once again, my back is staying nice and flat, but I'm rocking that plank forward and back. So join in when you're ready, and I'm going to count 10 from now. So 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring the knees down. And then sit back, stretch the arms out again. Okay. So we've got one more. If you want to have a little experiment with this one, the 2 last ones, I really wanted you to do those on your elbows, but you may want to try these ones on straight arms in a high plank. So I'll leave that up to you. You may prefer one or the other. You might find one is more effective. So I'm going to do it in a straight arm plank this time. So from here, squeezing the shoulder blades back, you're just going to give a little leg lift and down. So as you can see, I'm not coming up too high. I don't want to crunch my lower back. What I'm doing is just making my weight come onto 3 points rather than 4 points. And that would just work my core a little harder. So we'll do another 6 of those. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then knees down, sit yourself down. So if you are doing the straight arm ones, you need to be in a plank. Your bottom shouldn't be in this position here, watching up in the air. So let's put those together in a superset. So we'll start on the forearm plank. We'll go from knees to full plank. We'll do 4 repetitions of those. 4 sawing backwards and forwards. Then you can stay on your forearms or push up, and we'll do 4 alternate leg lifts. Okay, so back onto your forearms now. Find your position there. Okay, so I want you to lift the right knee twice first, and then the left knee twice afterwards. Okay, so push up. So push, push, down, down. That's 1. My left knee's coming off this time. Push up, both legs, pop forward and back. 2, 3, 4. Push your arms up and go lift. 2, 3, 4. Put the knees down and stretch it out. And we'll go through that one more time from the top. I'm just going to give you a moment just to reset yourself and feel a little bit more refreshed. Okay. So let's come back onto our forearms. Drop the hips down. Okay, so you're going to push up now. So 1, up and down, down. 2, left knee off this time. Lift up, up, down, down. Lift, lift, down, down. Push up, rock forwards and back. 2, 3, 4. Push up if you want to. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. Gently drop to your knees and walk the hands forward and have a stretch there. Okay, fantastic. So we'll come back over onto our back now. And we're going to take it into a double tuck extension. So we did this one last week, but it's a really good one to do for all of your abdominal muscles, and it's a good spinal stretch as well. So you're going to tuck in here, bringing your forehead towards your knees, and then extend away, making sure that you're not arching your back as you lift the legs away from you there. Don't forget to breathe, and you could really use some force to bring those knees in, as long as you make sure that you're grabbing the middle of the shins and not directly on the knee joint. Okay, can you give me 3 more of those, and then you can just gently take the head down. That's 3, 2, and 1. Now bring the knees in. Gently take your head down and roll it from side to side. Let's just remind myself what we're doing next. Okay, so from that position now, we're going to do a double leg lower. So I like to do this one for this particular exercise with head and shoulders off. If you feel like that your neck is really hurting, you can relax it down and you can do like I have and just gently support your head in your hands, as long as you're not kind of yanking on the neck there. So take both of your legs straight up. My heels are squeezed together and my feet are open slightly so that I'm working my inner thighs. Get those legs nice and straight. Now lower. Now remember, we squeeze the muscles in the bottom in the first and last 30 degrees. So from about here to the floor and up to here. And that way our hip flexors relax and we put all the focus on the tummy muscles. They're doing all the work there. Okay, give me 4 more like this. Good. 4. Keep it controlled at all times. Make sure that you're not swinging the legs at all. 2 more. 2. And 1. Now fold the legs in. Head down and give it a little roll there. From side to side. So our final one in this sequence, before we start moving those, putting those all together, is a single leg stretch, but we've got our legs straight for this one. We quite often do it with our legs bent, but for the purpose of this exercise, they're going to be straight. So one leg comes out away from you, other leg straight up. Grab it behind the thigh there. Once again, not on the knee joint. And ideally, I want your head and shoulders off for this one. So we're going to give it a little pull in, double pull, swap over, double pull, swap. So if you've got vaguely tight hamstrings, and I think that's probably about 99% of us, or you're not a ballet dancer, you might find it really difficult to keep your legs perfectly straight. But as long as you're not really bending them, that's absolutely fine. Give me 10 more. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold both knees in. And take your head down and gently roll it from side to side. Okay, so it's time to put all those together. So we're starting with that double tuck. So we're doing 4 folding in and opening out, 4 leg lowers, and then we'll do 4 on each side, so 8 in total of the straight leg pulses in. Okay, so quite a big set, quite challenging on the abdominal muscles. And also on the neck. So if at any time you feel that you need to relax your head down, carry on doing the other movements, but bring your head safely. Don't just let it crash down onto the mat. Bring it down safely and just gently roll it from side to side, just to take the tension out of it. We don't want you going away feeling strained at all after this. Okay, let's go then. So tuck in to start. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring the legs up, hands behind the heads, and lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Catch one of the legs there, let the other one drop. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees, take the head down. We'll do that one more time through for luck. I'll just give you a moment, stretch your neck out if you need to. Have a little bit of breathing time, relaxation time. Okay, and then we're going to go again. So tuck it in. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those legs up. Now 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold of one leg. Double pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And fold the knees and just gently take your head from side to side there.
Okay, so just take a moment there, have a sip of water if you need it. So we're going to take it into some hip bridges now. So we've done quite a few of these. I tend to do them every week, so they're really good for the backs of your legs and your whole kind of posterior chain of your body here. So starting in your standard neutral position. So you've got your ankles, knees and hips in a nice line there. You've got a neutral curve in the base of your spine. So for me, I can just slide my hands underneath that. Once you've found that, just take the hands by the side there, and move my arm out so you can see what my back is doing, but you should just bring yours down by the side there. So we are starting by tipping the back into the floor and peeling it up here, pushing up so you're in a straight line from your knees through to your shoulders, keeping that pelvic tilt until you roll down. And then make sure that you've got a definite movement where you bring it back into a neutral position. Good. Okay, so I want you to give me 5 more of these. Really focusing on making sure that you're in a neutral position, that your knees don't drop out to the side, nor do they roll in towards each other. And you haven't got your feet too wide. Some people automatically take them right to the edge of their mat for a little bit of stability there, but you're kind of cheating yourself if you do that, so you want to keep them in a neutral position. Good. So give me 1 more. Okay, so we're going to take it into some single-sided movement now. So the danger with this one is when you start taking one leg off, the back of the supporting leg starts to go into some hideous cramping feeling. If it does that, quickly come out of it, give it a stretch and try it. It tends to ease off after a couple of repetitions. So it doesn't mean that you're not strong or that you're not fully warmed up or anything like that. It's just your body, it's just your muscles reaction. Everyone's muscles are slightly different. Okay, so bring yourself up. We are going to take the right leg up here. I'm going to lower it down and up. So as always, control. I don't want to see any legs just flinging up and down there. 2 more. Now keep the hips high and bend that leg, place the foot on the floor and take the other leg up. And down. 1, 2. Concentrate on keeping the hips level. 3, 4, 5. Bend the leg, place your foot down. Now come safely out of that position, back into neutral and take your legs in. Okay, so we've got one final exercise in this series before we put them together. And we're going to add a little bit of a twist to that hip drop there. So I'll show you from this position and then I'll see if you can see it a little bit better, maybe if my feet face the camera. So you're coming up into your hip bridge here, both arms on the floor. Now I'm twisting and I'm aiming to get this part of my bum onto the floor and back up, all the way back up in between. Now the other side, and up, down, up. So you carry on going. I'll show you. Oh, that's not a very flattering position, is it? Sorry for all of you that haven't witnessed that. So I'm twisting here and back up. So you'll see my knees do move a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so keep going with those twisting movements. Let's all do 4 more of those. So 4, 3. Most important thing is to push back up in between. 2, just to release everything. And 1. And roll yourselves down. Okay, so here's what we're going to do to put it all together. We're doing 4 bilateral, that means both feet on the floor,
lifts and lowers. And then we do fifth one, staying up there. Right leg comes up, 4 up and down, left leg up, 4 up and down. Stay there. We're twisting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're coming out of hold. And then as we have done the rest of the class, we're going to repeat that a second time, just so you feel really worked out. Okay, let's go. So lift up and down. And 2, 3. Okay, right leg comes up and we're lifting down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place that foot down, keep your hips up, take the left leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place that foot down and twist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll down. Have a little breather, and then we'll go through that again. And then we should just have time to finish off our last little sequence. And then over the course of the past 2 weeks, we've done the whole of that full-bodied one. So next time we do it, we may be able to go through it a bit quicker because there's going to be less kind of teaching points. In which case, we will have time at the end to put everything together as one gigantic superset. So that will probably take 5 minutes to do that, but it's quite a fun thing to do. It gets the memory stimulated as well. Okay, so let's go with this one. So push your back in, lift up and down. Concentrate on form this time. Have a look at what your knees are doing. Think about really scooping in there. Lift. Right leg up. And go 1, 2, not swinging it, keeping it controlled. 3, 4. Foot down. And leg comes up. And we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And twisting. And we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And roll it down. Bring the knees into the chest. And then flip yourself over onto your tummy. Okay, so a little bit of back work, a little bit of lower body work, and then you're done. Okay. So stretch your arms out in front of you. I'm going to come over as far as I can so you can get as much of me as possible there, so you know what my arms and my legs are doing at the same time. So we're just starting with a little single leg lift here. So all I'm doing here is I'm squeezing my bottom and I'm making that movement, that tensing of the glute muscles, and that initiates the movement of lifting my leg off the floor. So my thigh is coming up off the floor there. Good. So we don't want to take it too far up. And it's worth mentioning that I tucked my pelvis under slightly so that I'm lengthening muscles in the lower part of my back before I start to contract my glute muscles there. So I'm not crunching through the lower back. Okay, can you give me 4 more? 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now do the same with the arms. So a little bit of a lift here. So have a look at what I'm doing and put your head into this position here. Okay, I can't do that or you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. You don't want that, it'll be really muffled. Good. Give me 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, are you ready to combine that? So I want opposite arm to leg coming up off the floor. Give me that slight pelvic tuck to begin with to lengthen muscles in the lower part of your spine. And off you go. Right arm, left leg. Go. 1. And lift. 2, 3, 4. I'm also pulling my tummy up and away from the mat as I lift here. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest it down. Okay, so we're going to add a double lift into that now. So we're lifting both arms and legs and down. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so our final one of this, we are lifting, then we're taking the arms wide, in and down. Join when you're ready. 2. I'm rushing it because I know we're near the end of the hour and I really want to get this final combo in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we've just got about time. We've got about 3 minutes left, so we're going to put that all together. Opposite arm to leg, 4 lifts. Doubles neutral, 4 lifts. Doubles opening wide, 4 lifts. And we'll not race through them because everything should be controlled. But we'll do them twice through seamlessly. And very, very quick stretch. You must promise me you'll stretch out if you need to later. Okay, let's go. So, right arm, left leg. And lift. 2, 3, 4, and doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposite arm to leg go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do doubles. Lift. 2, 3, 4. Lift them wide. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. Good work. Push up, come back into your child's pose. Give your back a little bit of a stretch. Good. Come on to all fours. Arch your back up like a cat. Good. And drop it down. And again, round. And down. And then just sit down. And I want you to give your shoulders a little bit of a stretch across here. Maybe take a bit of a battering with all those planks that we did. So I cut my head off there. Good. And the other side. With the shoulders. And give them a nice big roll here.
backwards and forwards. Now I want you to push yourself up to standing, uncurl yourselves and have a big stretch up towards the ceiling there, and allow your hands to drop down. And you can give yourselves a big old clap there. Well done. You looked, from the tiny squares of people I can see, you look like you're working very, very hard today. So if you've got any questions, you can visit homehealthpilates.co.uk, where you can leave feedback, or if you have any questions for me, you can direct those through there. If you feel you need to, then stretch out maybe a little bit more towards the end of the day. Make sure you have plenty of water to replenish yourself. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.